Since I am mainly looking at video games that may be suitable for people who have never really played video games before, I thought it might be time to look back at the discoveries and moments and more associated with specific games I've played in my life. This is a series I'm calling Gaming Memories. The first game I've reviewed on this channel of Video Games for Fun, gosh I feel a little old, is Zork Nemesis, a game that's part of the Zork series. So I'd figured, why not talk about my memories with these games? Haven't actually played every single one. What sort of Zork player am I? Before I do that, however, let me answer the question. What is the Zork series? The Zork series consists of a bunch of adventure games that generally take place in the great underground empire of Zork, and heavily feature familiar fantasy tropes, ideas, and characters, including dwarves, trolls, plus dungeons and mazes. It also tends to contain quite a bit of humour and many puzzles and traps, many of which have stayed in the minds of gamers for years. Now, Zork Nemesis is actually not the first Zork I ever played, nor was it the first released one. That one is the text adventure simply titled Zork. The first Zork game I ever played was... How did I come across Return to Zork? I'm pretty sure my dad and I just happened to buy it when shopping for stuff for the computer, or it may have come free with something, much like getting a DVD with a DVD player. And we would have got the game close to 1995 or 1996, not the release year of 1993. And it wasn't even a floppy disk, it was a CD. Return to Zork was something quite different in my young gaming life at that point. I remember being quite interested in the intro, the, at the time, nice graphics with video footage, the point-and-click interface, and the dialogue that is actually quotable.
Hey! Hey! I've been talking a long time! I sense movement! I need a new battery! Can you hear me? A new battery! Want some rah? Of course you do.
The thing I remember the most, however, was being terrible at the opening part of the game. The opening minutes of Return to Zork take place in a mountain pass and a nearby lighthouse, with a lighthouse keeper displaying the tendency that many characters in the game have to say their lines of dialogue over and over again. Near his home is the road to the south, which is
impassable. Absolutely impossible to pass. Impassable.
It seems I didn't pay attention to him as a kid, because when you move forward at the road, you die. That evil laugh you hear every time you die was actually somewhat scary. This is not a mature rated game. I remember wondering what to do while I kept on dying on the road to the south until my brother found the hint book. I think many people who play the game got this, which meant more money on top of the game, I guess. So I had to make a raft to go down the water behind the lighthouse to go to the town of West Shamba. Okay. Many gamers have spoken on how obtuse and annoying many of the game's puzzles are, yet even with a hint book to generally help out, I do have a lot of nostalgia for this game, and maybe dreading that evil laugh or unexpected moments. Sometimes I just turn on the game today and play it for a bit, even attempt to speedrun it. I'm pretty sure it was on my 13th birthday my older brother gave me Zork Nemesis as a present. Thanks, older brother, for giving me the Return to Zork hint book and Zork Nemesis. I guess you knew how much I liked the series. I did have a little bit of trouble with the game at first, and not necessarily because of how different in tone it was to Return to Zork. It did look and sound better though. If you want to know what I really think of it, check out my review. Spoiler, it's one of my favourite games. I found some way to play the first ever Zork game, which actually is a text adventure. I may have thought Return to Zork was the first game in the series. How wrong I was. Finding out about this game's existence in high school didn't prepare me for the fact that I would actually enjoy the game. I liked typing in the commands and figuring out what to do, as well as imagining the descriptions in my head. Overall, the Zork series provides me with some sense of nostalgia, as well as contributed to my interest in adventure games. I imagine I played Return to Zork alongside games like Day of the Tentacle, a game that is actually not unfair. It was games like these that led me to appreciate puzzle solving in games and using my brain in interesting ways, alongside several of the edutainment games I played. In recent years, I was able to go on to GOG, or Good Old Games, to play Return to Zork and Zork Nemesis properly, since the CDs don't seem to work on my contemporary computer. I also got the text games and even Zork Grand Inquisitor, the latter of which I reviewed on my channel not long after. Funnily enough, when I played the text game again, I couldn't get past the Grue. I thought I did very well on that puzzle years ago. What is a Grue, you might be asking? Why, it's a monster that lives in pitch dark areas and eats human adventurers who don't walk around with or carry a light source. So no one has seen what it looks like. There's your nightmare, sleep well. Grues, alongside other funny names and ideas like Lord Flathead, also make the Zork series a mostly and uniquely funny and even goofy take on the familiar fantasy adventure. How or if that would translate a world to the graphical adventures is debatable. Outside of a completely obscure 2009 MMO adventure game named Legends of Zork, as well as a decent fan following, Zork Grand Inquisitor is where the series finished, possibly never to return. But what definitely isn't finished is remembering the adventures in the great underground empire of Zork. They are fondly cherished gaming memories.